access to subway lines, connecting us literally to entire GTA. Situated in buzzing Yorkville, IBU sits amidst art galleries, museums, coffee shops, movie theaters, and pubs. Our neighborhood is also home to a variety of tourist festivals and events throughout the year. People are at the heart of who we are and what we do at IBU, targeting students who desire progress in their personal and professional lives. We offer a flexible, nurturing, and student-focused education to everyone, irrespective of their circumstances. At IBU, we always look for ways to go beyond the classroom to make a meaningful difference in the society and the world at large. From the moment you walk through our doors, you'll notice the difference. A friendly place where you belong, with quiet and spacious classrooms and open spaces specifically designed to host a maximum of 30 students in each class. The amenities close to our campus include Toronto's largest public library, the Toronto Reference Library, located on Yonge Street, just north of Bloor, and Good Life Fitness Center on site. Campus life at IBU is up to you. Get involved. Our extracurricular activities on campus include seminars, conferences, and workshops involving faculty and corporate partners. We also look forward to starting your co-curricular student clubs. At IBU, we celebrate diversity. We celebrate you. Come be a part of us. International Business University lies in the heart of downtown Toronto, a vivid, multicultural center for global business. We are within steps from access to subway lines, connecting us literally to entire GTA. Situated in buzzing Yorkville, IBU sits amidst art galleries, museums, coffee shops, movie theaters, and pubs. Our neighborhood is also home to a variety of tourist festivals and events throughout the year. People are at the heart of who we are and what we do at IBU, targeting students who desire progress in their personal and professional lives. We offer a flexible, nurturing, and student-focused education to everyone, irrespective of their circumstances. At IBU, we always look for ways to go beyond the classroom to make a meaningful difference in the society and the world at large. From the moment you walk through our doors, you'll notice the difference. A friendly place where you belong, with quiet and spacious classrooms and open spaces specifically designed to host a maximum of 30 students in each class. The amenities close to our campus include Toronto's largest public library, the Toronto Reference Library, located on Yonge Street, just north of Bloor, and Good Life Fitness Center on site. Campus life at IBU is up to you. Get involved. Our extracurricular activities on campus include seminars, conferences, and workshops involving faculty and corporate partners. We also look forward to starting your co-curricular student clubs. At IBU, we celebrate diversity. We celebrate you. Come be a part of us.
Hello, everybody. We're just giving it a couple more minutes till it's 7, and we will begin as soon as the clock hits 7 o'clock. Just so everyone knows, the session is being recorded and is being live streamed on the social media platforms, just for everybody to know.
International Business University lies in the heart of downtown Toronto, a vivid, multicultural center for global business. We are within steps from access to subway lines, connecting us literally to entire GTA. Situated in buzzing Yorkville, IBU sits amidst art galleries, museums, coffee shops, movie theaters, and pubs. Our neighborhood is also home to a variety of tourist festivals and events throughout the year. People are at the heart of who we are and what we do at IBU, targeting students who desire progress in their personal and professional lives. We offer a flexible, nurturing, and student-focused education to everyone, irrespective of their circumstances. At IBU, we always look for ways to go beyond the classroom to make a meaningful difference in the society and the world at large. From the moment you walk through our doors, you'll notice the difference. A friendly place where you belong, with quiet and spacious classrooms and open spaces specifically designed to host a maximum of 30 students in each class. The amenities close to our campus include Toronto's largest public library, the Toronto Reference Library, located on Yonge Street, just north of Bloor, and Good Life Fitness Center on site. Campus life at IBU is up to you. Get involved. Our extracurricular activities on campus include seminars, conferences, and workshops involving faculty and corporate partners. We also look forward to starting your co-curricular student clubs. At IBU, we celebrate diversity. We celebrate you. Come be a part of us. International Business University lies in the heart of downtown Toronto, a vivid, multicultural center for global business. We are within steps from access to subway lines, connecting us literally to entire GTA. Situated in buzzing Yorkville, IBU sits amidst art galleries, museums, coffee shops, movie theaters, and pubs. Our neighborhood is also home to a variety of tourist festivals and events throughout the year. People are at the heart of who we are and what we do at IBU, targeting students who desire progress in their personal and professional lives. We offer a flexible, nurturing, and student-focused education to everyone, irrespective of their circumstances. At IBU, we always look for ways to go beyond the classroom to make a meaningful difference in the society and the world at large. From the moment you walk through our doors, you'll notice the difference. A friendly place where you belong, with quiet and spacious classrooms and open spaces specifically designed to host a maximum of 30 students in each class. The amenities close to our campus include Toronto's largest public library, the Toronto Reference Library, located on Yonge Street, just north of Bloor, and Good Life Fitness Center on site. Campus life at IBU is up to you. Get involved. Our extracurricular activities on campus include seminars, conferences, and workshops involving faculty and corporate partners. We also look forward to starting your co-curricular student clubs. At IBU, we celebrate diversity. We celebrate you. Come be a part of us.
Hello, everybody, once again. We welcome you all to the virtual open house at International Business University. It's 7 o'clock, but we'll still give it a couple more minutes for everyone to join in. And once again, for everyone to note, the session is being live streamed on the social media platform and is recorded for the future references.
International Business University lies in the heart of downtown Toronto, a vivid, multicultural center for global business. We are within steps from access to subway lines, connecting us literally to entire GTA. Situated in buzzing Yorkville, IBU sits amidst art galleries, museums, coffee shops, movie theaters, and pubs. Our neighborhood is also home to a variety of tourist festivals and events throughout the year. People are at the heart of who we are and what we do at IBU, targeting students who desire progress in their personal and professional lives. We offer a flexible, nurturing, and student-focused education to everyone, irrespective of their circumstances. At IBU, we always look for ways to go beyond the classroom to make a meaningful difference in the society and the world at large. From the moment you walk through our doors, you'll notice the difference. A friendly place where you belong, with quiet and spacious classrooms and open spaces specifically designed to host a maximum of 30 students in each class. The amenities close to our campus include Toronto's largest public library, the Toronto Reference Library, located on Yonge Street, just north of Bloor, and Good Life Fitness Center on site. Campus life at IBU is up to you. Get involved. Our extracurricular activities on campus include seminars, conferences, and workshops involving faculty and corporate partners. We also look forward to starting your co-curricular student clubs. At IBU, we celebrate diversity. We celebrate you. Come be a part of us.
Thank you once again, and welcome everyone to International Business University's Fall Virtual Open Fair. We still have people joining in, and as they enter, we'll keep admitting them, but I think it's 3 minutes past 7 o'clock, and we should be starting now. Once again, I'm Swarna Bakshi Saini. I am the Registrar at International Business University. And on behalf of IBU, I take this opportunity to welcome each one of you. And I thank you from bottom of our hearts for considering IBU as your next career step. We are excited to answer any questions that you will have tonight. And we are being joined this evening by our incoming president, Joanne Schauler, our provost and vice president academics, Mark Lovell, Dwight Townsend, our academic advisor, Funmi Aina, our enrollment officer, and Amanda Malitsky, our enrollment officer. Just so you know, once again, the session is being recorded for future references and is also being live streamed on social media platforms. Some ground rules right before we start. You can see a chat button at the bottom of your screens. Feel free to submit your questions as we go through the presentations. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can towards the end of the presentation. Thank you to each one of you who submitted their questions before time, like the pre-submission, and we have tried and made an attempt to inculcate that in as a part of our presentation and try to answer all the questions that we had received. And if anything is missed, again, we encourage you to type in your questions in the chat box at the bottom, and we'll try answering each one of them. So let's begin. May I request Joanne Schauler, our incoming president, to make the welcome address and the land acknowledgements. Joanne?
Thank you very much, Swarna, and welcome to all for tonight's presentation. To start, I wish to acknowledge that this land from which the International Business University is operating has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So welcome to your International Business University Open House. Tonight is about you, your aspirations, your dreams, your questions, your talent, and your future. As Swarna said, I'm the future president of the International Business University as of January 1st, 2022, and I joined the International Business University for you. You see, as background, I've worked with graduates of various universities for 3 decades, and through that time, I've seen what's worked for them and what hasn't. A clear key to success was clarity alongside each and every one of our learners from the very beginning about what they want from their education, their career, and their life. And I think more than ever, that's incredibly important for people to be able to sit down and think about what it is they want out of their educational journey. So the International Business University's concept of personalized learning attracted me to lead a new university that is entirely devoted to teaching and to its students. The class maximum of 30 students, tailored mentorship, flexibility, and accessibility all creates a very supportive learning environment for you as a student. The academic curriculum naturally has been very carefully designed to ensure that you get a top-class education. What we've added in is the support that you will receive before, during, and after your in-class sessions. So it starts at the very beginning when you are about to apply. We will work with you to understand your interests and your fit with the International Business University's style of teaching and learning. Once you are an incoming student, we will build a life cycle approach to your experience, including first, your acceptance and welcome, where we begin to map out your plans. Second, we'll look at onboarding sessions that will start your orientation to your learning programs. The third, you will talk with your academic advisor and look for mentors to support your goals and your areas of development. We'll do check-ins with you at various intervals to learn about your progress and address any barriers that you're facing. We'll also design a plan for you to engage with industry representatives, doing research projects and aligning you with employers and industries to inform your career choices. And finally, and to me most interesting, is that we will celebrate with you and create a plan for when you graduate and how we will maintain and build our relationship with you over decades to come. So tonight, you will hear many stories about the International Business University experience and the quality of delivery. It is a dynamic, entrepreneurial, student-centered institution that is ready to partner with you to realize your visions of your future. So please do enjoy this session. I will be back later for the question and answer session, but now it's time for me to introduce Julien Papillon, the Professor of International Business, so he can share his boundless enthusiasm and perspectives as a faculty member. He has sent his remarks by video tonight as he is currently working and seeing family in France. So now I turn to Julien to give you a sense of the faculty experience.
Hi there, my name is Julien Papon and I'm a faculty member here at IBU. First off, let me warmly welcome you to our open house tonight. I really wish that I could be there with you guys, but I'm hopeful that we'll get to meet in January and talk about all things business together. I'm one of the founding faculty members at IBU, and I've had the privilege to lead our international business course for the first time ever in the fall of 2021. And to set some context, I've been an adjunct faculty member, in other words, part-time, at the Schulich School of Business and the Lasson School of Engineering for just over a decade. This means that I have a fair amount of academic experience teaching business, operations, entrepreneurship, and venture capital at both the undergraduate and the MBA level, though it also means that I'm not a full-time academic. My first calling is to be a practitioner, and this is still where I spend most of my time. I've been very fortunate to have had a rich professional career as a corporate leader in the automotive industry before jumping into the management consulting world and finally starting my own business. And this perspective and experience is what I bring to class to connect academic and theoretical concepts with real-world thinking. IBU has allowed me to bring new ways of learning, much more entrepreneurial in nature, and in effect more reliant on your capacity as students to self-reflect, critically think, and communicate rather than memorize stuff and regurgitate it in quizzes and alike. And as a student, I remember the most enjoyable moments of my academic journey and also my most profound learning opportunities, frankly, were driven by active learning experiences rather than traditional passive lectures. The profs that I remember most fondly from my MBA time were mostly those with one foot in the academia and the other in industry, people able to bring the real world to the classroom instead of solely focusing on textbooks. And I'll tell you, as a faculty member, this is exactly what I focus on. The most important things to me are student engagement, active participation, and really what's in it for you in the long run. I want you to reflect on your IBU experience once you're a corporate executive or successful entrepreneur and remember the good times that we had together. I know that as students, you'll prepare for classes not because you have to, but because you'll want to. And we look forward to actively contributing to our weekly class discussions. These conversations are very organic, based on the kind of insights you may be seeking, but they're also very structured. I design our live conversational mini sprints to build a unique bridge between knowledge that you acquire in books or the internet and insights, which are much more rooted in first-hand industry experience. And to give you an example, in a segment of 1 hour, we will run 3 to 4 mini sprints designed around 15-minute high-impact engagements each. We will begin with a simple question that relates to a key learning concept on the topic of the day. Take globalization of markets or production, for example, right? And how COVID has impacted supply chains all over the world. Small group of students, no more than 4 or 5 per group, are then formed so that you can openly share your thoughts on that question with peers just for a few minutes. I'm never present, so you can feel comfortable talking to one another and are able to get to know each other, share your own unique perspective and experience, and prepare for the class roundtable conversation, where each student then has the opportunity to share their thoughts. And any contributions you make will help us better understand the key concepts, not because you may remember them, but because you actually understand their utility and their meaning within the context of the business world. Anyway, that might have been a bit more than my colleagues at the IBU wanted from me, but as I suspect you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about this stuff. And I'm certainly very excited about what our journey together could look like. And I can tell you that what has been one of the most exciting things about IBU for me is the flexibility I have to shape my own teaching based on what I learn over time about your aspirations and needs in the course. You know, in the startup world, we embrace the idea that customers absolutely have to be at the center of all business building activities, right? And as we engage them, we learn and adapt our products and services and ways of doing things along the way. Well, that entrepreneurial spirit and belief that we have to continuously adapt our teaching methods with a student-first view is very much the essence of what I believe IBU stands for and what I'm very proud to be part of. I really do hope that this open house will be insightful and valuable for you, and I hope to meet and talk to you all very soon. Have a great evening.
Great. That was Professor Julian Papon. Julian is our Faculty of International Business. Moving on with tonight's session, once again, before we move on, there's a chat button at the bottom of your screens. Feel free to submit your questions. We will try to answer all the questions towards the end of this session. And we are excited that you all are here. And once again, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Next up is Mark Lowell. Mark is our founding provost and VP Academics, and he'll take you through the presentation on what IBU looks like, the beginning of IBU and what is in store for you, how IBU will make the decision of you taking the next step in your career exciting, and how you can be a part of our journey. So over to you, Mark.
Thank you, Swarna. So, as Julian and Joanne have both said so well, one of our main core values, of course, is you, our students. And you might ask, how do we implement that? Well, I'll tell you. For starters, in our hiring, every single person associated with this university, when they were interviewed, were asked how they are going to be part of a university that does something different, that puts the student at the very center of all of our operations. And you can see, for example, in what Julian said in his comments, how that works in practice. So we look for that type of excitement and that type of eloquence when we are hiring all of our faculty. If we go to the next slide, we are very proud to be Ontario's first independent, not-for-profit university. And what that means in practice is we have this double focus. First of all, we have to be focused on employers' needs, because we know that you as students, when you graduate, want to graduate and find a job as quickly as possible. And not any job. You want a job that fuels your passion for a lifetime. And so what we've done is to make sure that our curriculum at every point is concentrating on you and allowing you, in a sense, to find yourself and find the career that is going to work for you. On to the next slide. I want to say a little bit about our history. We were founded, our founder here is Dr. Sardar Mutlu. We were founded by Sardar about 5 years ago. And what he did is he sought out a group of seasoned educators. And all of the educators involved, mostly were involved in the public system, and they were all ready to look at something different. By the way, 3 of our educators mentioned here are all former university presidents. One, Tim Tiernan at Ontario Tech, Alistair Summerlee at the University of Guelph, and Feridun Hamdulapar at the University of Waterloo. And there are others that are going to come on the screen very soon. And it really was the power of an idea. And what the idea was is that we want to disrupt higher education. We want to appeal to bright, talented young people and working professionals. And we want to find people who are interested in looking for a different option, an option based on flexible, accessible, and a personalized way of learning. On to the next slide. And so here we are in November of 2021, getting prepared for the birth of our idea in January of 2022. It turns out we had a pilot of our first semester starting in September. It was all online because of COVID, with just a handful of students and faculty. We welcome our first cohort of students in January, and we hope you're part of that, of course. And this will be both in class and online. And of course, as you heard earlier, our inaugural president, Joanne Schubler, will be leading a team of top professionals in supporting you and your learning. A little bit about the program. What distinguishes the program is that we have done a great deal of preparation and thought into the range of courses that are needed to fulfill the employer's needs of today. We have a double focus on both international management and technology, and you'll find a lot of courses related to each throughout the curriculum. We also have various specially designed courses that allow you to implement the skills and knowledge that you are learning. For example, we have special courses both in semesters 4 and semesters 8, where you are part of a team, you're looking at a real business problem, and we try to make that as close as possible to a job atmosphere. Also, we're doing something different in the way that we schedule our program. We have continuous enrollment every single term. That's 3 terms a year. And so what that means is that if you wish, you can go for 3 terms a year and finish a 4-year degree in under 3 years. That's up to you, depending on your needs. On to the next slide. In terms of what you learn, we spent a lot of time looking at foundational competencies, and these were based on a series of competencies called Skills for Success, devised by the Government of Canada, based on their collaboration with employers. And the view is that these competencies are needed by all Canadians, not just in their careers, but also in their general lives. And as you can see here, these skills cover traditional things such as verbal communication, reading and writing, research, but also more contemporary skills such as digital literacy and things that are talked about a great deal these days, creativity and innovation and global citizenship. What we have done is we have highlighted for each of these 10 competencies 3 pivotal points in the curriculum where these are dealt with in an intensive way. And we have highlighted assessments for each of those. And what that allows us to do is to gauge how well you are gaining proficiency in each of these competencies, with the intention that by the end of the program, you have proficiency in all 10. And at this point, I'm going to hand it over to our academic advisor, Dwight Townsend, to give a little more detail. Dwight? You need to unmute Dwight.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everybody, and welcome, 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 welcome. So my name is Dwight Townsend, and I am the academic advisor at IBU. So what does that mean? So academic advising, actually, before I go on in my academic advising role and capacity, let me just comment a little bit further on what Mark was saying about these competencies. So one thing that I'm really excited about regarding the competencies is that it's the ability for students to actually take these competencies and create an e-portfolio. So at the end of graduation, you can actually demonstrate where you've started and where you actually end up. You can demonstrate to prospective employers how you have actually mastered these skills, how you've gained these skills, how you've achieved mastery of these skills through these competencies. And it's a great opportunity to really walk into a prospective employer's office or engage with prospective employers and demonstrate with a portfolio how you've actually achieved these skills. So we're really excited about building this piece into the curriculum. It's a way of really bringing the competency that we promise that we deliver to you, that you would actually get those at the end of your term here with IBU. Next slide, please. Thank you. As it relates to campus life, as you know, we've all experienced and still to some degree experiencing COVID in this pandemic. So this year with our pilot program, campus life was remains challenging for everyone and really for every academic institutions. And we're really no exception. However, as it relates to campus life, we're really looking forward to the change. And as the economy and the country reopens, we're really looking forward to the opportunity of what campus life would look like. Again, we're located right downtown Toronto. We're really about promoting a positive space. We really want to see campus life as a physical environment in which students can really engage. They can drop in, whether it's to get a meal, whether it's to discuss a project, whether it's to discuss your e-portfolio and how you really achieve mastery over these competencies that Mark talked about. You know, how do you really demonstrate that you've learned these skills? We really want the space to be a positive space in which everyone is welcome. You know, the competency talks about global citizenship, and really, as it relates to campus life, we really want to build a sense of engagement among students themselves, a sense of engagement with students and professors, a sense of engagement among yourselves, and certainly this idea of the space being a sense of citizenship for students where they really feel like they do belong here at IBU. So those are the kind of things that we want to foster as we move forward, and not just with our pilot program, but as you enter into 2022. So how is the program feature at IBU? How are we distinct? We're distinct in a number of ways. So for example, we do have one-on-one mentoring and academic advising. Our class sizes are really manageable. For example, I know within our pilot program, I was really able to know students by name, some of their likes, their dislikes, some of the challenges that they're going through in terms of the balance between academic life and perhaps gaining a schedule and just really immersing themselves in the rigor of academic life. So it's really an idea of, you know, how we engage and build a reputation and a relationship with our students. And we're careful curation of, you know, how we engage and how we foster that relationship. So we're really distinct in that way from some of your other traditional institutions. As it relates to academic advising at IBU, and let me speak to my experience really for last term. Most of the academic advising support that I provide to students is really about just being available to students. You know, it could be an issue with the technology, whether it's you know, logging onto their course portal, it's assignments, uploading their assignments, engaging with the professors, and just making sure that you are the bridge to connect the students with the professor, or you're the bridge that connects the students to a solution or a resource that they need in real time. You're the bridge that connects students to a service that they may really want at the time they want that. So it's beyond just providing academic advising about program selection, about course selection, about academic counseling, about what might be able to take this term versus next term, just really talking students through those decisions and making sure that they're comfortable in their choices, and more important, making sure that they're aware of the services that the university have to offer. There's uptake, they're utilizing those things, and just really being available and letting them know that you are available for those type of solution or resources as needed. And I will hand this over back to Swarna. Thank you very much. Looking forward to your enrollment and seeing you on campus. Swarna?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dwight. Thank you. Once again, before I move on to the admission process and how does it all work, once again, thank you, each one of you who pre-submitted their questions. We'll try to answer all those questions in this particular section and towards the end of the presentation. This session is being recorded for reference and is also being live streamed on the social media platforms. So you now know what are the distinctive features of International Business University. You heard our faculty speak, you heard our academic advisors speak, a provost. What does the admission process look like and how do we follow through? If you meet the academic requirements that your enrollment officer will be discussing at length with you, you complete an online application form on our website, the easiest step. You send us your transcripts, the official transcripts from your last attended school, whether it's a post-secondary institution or it's a high school. You pay for your acceptance fee and secure your place for our next cohort that starts in January. For all of you who are attending this session right now, your acceptance fee is being waived off if you plan to submit your online application right after this session. We received a lot of questions about the financial aid support and how we look up in terms of the financial support that we provide to our students. Our financial aid packages offered by the universities are extensive and are beautifully designed in order to support your education. We understand that life can be difficult and not everyone can pay up for their university education, and we realize that that can be a hindering block for many people to start their educational journey. So at International Business University, we offer you up to 100% of fee deferment till the time you graduate and actually start working. That's the kind of confidence that we have in our program and in our graduates. What does that mean? Is that while you study with us, you do not pay us anything. Once you graduate and once you start working, you start making your payments interest-free. There is no interest being charged. You also have a chance for 25% of your tuition being waived if you are in a good academic standing and score a 4.0 GPA and up. For more details to find out if you are eligible for this financial aid package, please contact your enrollment officer at admission.ibu.ca or visit our website. We also received a lot of questions about the scholarships. Yes, we definitely do have tons of scholarship that we offer to our students, right from our merit scholarships based on your high school scores or scores from your previous education. It can go up to $3,000 each semester. We also have general entrance scholarships for our inaugural cohort that starts in January. We also offer specific scholarships to the students who enroll in our online class program. And apart from that, we also have international student bursary for international students studying with us online. For more details and to find out more whether you are eligible and what kind of scholarship and bursary you're eligible for, please feel free to contact your enrollment officer or visit www.ibu.ca for more information. We look forward to hearing back from you, tons of more questions around this. And here's the website that I was mentioning, ibu.ca. You can also email us at admission@ibu.ca or call us at 416-923-1111. We really look forward to speaking with you and hearing all your questions and answering every single question that you may have. Moving on to the pre-submitted questions that we have received, we'll try to answer some of those questions here, and some of those questions were answered while we were presenting and my colleagues were presenting here. The first question, Joanne, I would direct at you. One of our attendees has submitted a question that says, what is the campus culture and environment like at IBU? What does it mean to study at IBU, and what does it look like? You're muted, Joanne.
You're still muted, Joanne.
There you go.
Technical difficulty there. The key about the IBU culture is that there's a really strong sense of entrepreneurship. This is a lively place. There's an understanding that things need. There's an opportunity to make changes, particularly at this time in our history. We are looking at taking advantage of where we can use the virtual environment, where we can use the physical environment, because the culture is both. The culture is both the facility that we have at Bloor and Bay, and the culture is what we have on the virtual environment as well. So we have a strong entrepreneurial spirit. We have a strong commitment to diversity. We have a clear demonstration of international perspective. We've got a very diverse group of people all the way through our organization. And so the international perspective, the international being right in our name, is a living part of what the IBU culture is about. I think that the other thing I'm finding is that there's a really strong sense of supportiveness, of understanding that people need to learn things, people have areas that they need to develop, there's a risk-taking and a spirit of co-creation that is very respectful. The idea that there is a very solid foundation in our academic program, but around that we can co-create the culture, we can co-create the spirit, and we can build a program that is really responsive in the time period that we're in. So I guess underlying that is just a very fun culture, because we're constantly changing, we're constantly looking at ways that we can adapt our very strong foundation, all of those competencies, and make sure that we're really relevant and that we're connected with our employers and with the greater society.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Dwight, I'll refer next question to you, and maybe you're the best person to answer that question. One of our prospective students and applicants wants to know how helpful and how accessible are the instructors?
Okay, so I would say very helpful and accessible. And I can give you some example based on last term as well. I am essentially the connector to students and faculty. So say, for example, you might have a lecture and you need to get in touch with a professor. Oftentimes you can reach out directly to that professor. They're very responsive. And oftentimes what would happen, the professor would also include me on that email, just in case, you know, there's an outstanding activity or items that the student needs beyond what the instructor would provide. Then I would basically then carry out that activity on behalf of the professor, or in addition with the solution the professor is providing. So I would say, you know what, they're very reactive, and they're extremely fast of ensuring that students are where they need to be. And oftentimes professors will also reach out to me to alert me of a particular issue, even though it may not be an issue for the professor to manage or answer. If the student approach a professor and it's really not within their wheelhouse or domain, that professor will reach out to me to say, hey, you know, I have a student in a particular situation that may need some support in this area. Could you reach out? And they would actually follow up to ensure that that is done, because, you know, how that gets resolved really shows up in their classroom as well. So they really want to make sure that issues with students are indeed resolved in order for the whole student to show up and be ready to perform in their class. So I would say, you know, they have a vested interest in being really responsive and making sure that matters are attended to.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwight. One of our students, Joanne, to your answer to the first question that you answered, one of our attendees here is asking a question. What is it to be like a first-year student specifically at IBU?
I think the most important thing about being a first-year student is getting a really solid foundation of understanding. It's a relationship that you have with your institution, especially one that's built like IBU, where you have the opportunity to come in and meet with a number of people and be very clear about what are your strengths, what are your goals, what are the areas that you're wanting very specifically to develop. And then you set out that foundation very clearly at the beginning of the program. Then you map out where you're going to be going, and you're looking at getting the supports that you need, the encouragement that you need, as Dwight just said, the remedial kind of coaching that you need. And I can say that every time that I started something, one of the keys to success in starting, whether it's a program, whether it's a new job, or whatever that new enterprise is that you're doing in your life, one of the keys to success is knowing where you want to go generally. You don't know specifically, you don't have all the answers at the beginning, but what you do know is what your strengths are, what your view of the world is, what your values are. And you start there and you say, here's where I think I want to go. And you make sure, most importantly, that you ask for assistance, that you reach out to other people, you reach out to mentors. We can help connect you with people who want to mentor. We can help connect you with people in industry. So in that first year, I think the most important thing is acclimatizing yourself to the program, understanding how to work with your faculty, understanding your own habits in making sure you're prepared, and understanding how you can maximize this experience to the fullest. I can guarantee you, this is going to be an incredible experience. I can guarantee you that. What is up for you now to decide is how you're going to engage with that experience, and how clearly we can help you map out what that success would look like. So I think first year is going to be an adventure. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a learning experience. It's going to be getting to know new people and opening your eyes and opening your mind to things in ways that are quite different. And then every month, every quarter, every year, you'll become stronger in understanding how to navigate that. Because one of the outcomes, in addition to all the competencies, in addition to the learning, in addition to the experiences you're going to have with your faculty, you're also going to have experiences with students, you're going to have experiences with possible mentors and employers, and you're going to learn, one of the outcomes is you will learn how to manage those, how to navigate those, how to understand those as part of your overall plan. And that's when serendipity kicks in, where if you're doing the work to manage towards the plan you want that fits within your overall life goals, serendipity follows, because you start doing the things that you should, asking the questions you should as a regular part of your pattern. So first year is setting the foundation for all of that to enjoy for years and years to come.
Thank you, Joanne. One of our attendees here is asking a question that says, if I have trouble in school, what will IBU do to help? Dwight, I think you may be better able to answer that question for us.
So in the context of academic advising, what we generally would do for that is, let me speak to a real example in last term. I did have a number of students with same issues. And what I did was really reaching out to the student, having that conversation to find out what exactly is the challenge a student is having. Is it an academic challenge? Is it a personal challenge? Is it both? Is it challenge around communication? It could be a number of things, right? So what we try to do first is try to get a sense of what the issues are, and then what type of resources does the university have to support the student in those particular areas. So it really is a conversation in terms of getting to the root cause of the issue, or getting an assessment or an overview of what the issues are. So there isn't a one solution that will fit every student. Some student, it might be a personal issue. It might be, they're taking too many courses, and so they might be overwhelmed. Work hours is a bit longer than they anticipate. So if you fix the work hours along with the number of course ratio, that will, get them to some level of equilibrium and balance out of it. So it really depends on the student. It really depends on the challenge. But what I can say is that, you know, academic advising at IBU, we're committed to really supporting and meeting the students where they are. So the challenges it's an individual thing. They're unique to the student, and so are the solutions. But we're committed to making sure that students are successful, and that's the focus. And I think if we focus on that, then mutually together, we'll definitely come up with solution that works for both parties and ensure that the student meets their, you know, academic obligation of the program.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dwight. Joanne, maybe you are the best person to answer this question. One of our attendees has pre-submitted a question saying, does IBU have any partnerships or relationships with any companies when it comes to internships?
We have been developing relationships with companies, with business representatives, with a number of employers, with business leaders, with a number of different agencies over the past several years. So we're very much in development of that. And right now, that is a top priority for us, to be developing those relationships that open doors for our students. As I said earlier, when you have a plan and you're able to articulate what you want to be doing, what industry you want to be in, what kinds of jobs you want to explore, then we will work with our students and our contacts in industry who will be engaged in the institution to be finding those internships, finding those opportunities to make those introductions. So this is a constant process because jobs will be changing, employers will be changing, industries will be changing. And the whole orientation of IBU is to give that foundation, but give lots of opportunities for our students to explore different industries, explore different opportunities with the large number of people that are connected with the institution right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Joanne. That definitely answers this question. And connected to this question and extension, are there any volunteering activities or any extracurricular activities that IBU offers?
Well, I guess, Swarna, when in the presentation tonight, what we saw in the video was aspirational. What we saw that Dwight gave was aspirational. We are at a really interesting point in time right now where we haven't had the opportunity to be as directly connected physically. And now we're coming out of that, and we're seeing the opportunity to create new chapters, new clubs, new levels of engagement, speaking opportunities. We're going to have a number of people come in and deliver speaking opportunities. And then in terms of volunteering, I can tell you that I've already been talking with a number of associations that are really excited about this model of personalized learning, about the baseline foundation of business knowledge and skills, but then with the ability to adapt. They're very interested in working with our students for those volunteer opportunities that will give exposure to the students in the ways that that not-for-profits run, that businesses run. I think the key is for students, you go into the classes and you understand the content, you get some practice inside the class. When you have the opportunity for volunteering or for interning, you get the real, the way things really work. Now, for mature students, they already have that advantage to some extent. What volunteering or some of these internships would allow, particularly volunteering, is to see the way things work in very different sectors. And so again, you're just expanding your skill set and you're expanding your perspectives throughout that. So yes, the answer is definitely on the volunteer side. We are working with a number of associations, with education institutions that are very excited about the skill sets and the perspectives that our graduates are going to have.
Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. One of the attendees here has asked a question, how many students, what percentage of students enroll straight out of high school? So maybe I can answer that questions. Like in the presentation, we showed that we have continuous enrollment. We do September, January, and May. So it really depends on which cohort are we looking at to admitting. If we look at our applications in a traditional September intake, we do see a lot of students, and majority of our students coming straight out of high school who are applying for the program for September 2022. But when it comes to the other cohorts, it's more of a mature student. So it really is, it really depends on what time of the year is the application coming in. In our first pilot project that we did in September, almost 35% or 40% of our students were from high school, and the majority was a mature student population that did come in. An extension to that question that one of our attendees has attended here, and Mark, maybe you can answer that question, is what is the average employment rate after graduation going to look like at IBU?
Here's what we can say about that. I think it's fair to say that we are confident that we can match the current employment rate for bachelor's graduates in Ontario, which is around 87%. And to show you of our confidence, you will remember what Swarna had to say about our financial package. The fact that you won't be paying back the funds until you get your first job is our way of signaling to you our confidence that you will get a job.
Perfect. Thank you. That really, really is important. And again, to find out if you are eligible for the financial aid package that we mentioned during our presentations, feel free to reach to our enrollment officers, Amanda and Funmi. One more question that is coming in here, and maybe Mark or Joanne, you can answer it. It says, what would be considered a competitive applicant or an ideal student? What traits do you look into for your competitive applicants or future students?
Well, I can start. Joanne, why don't you start there and I'll finish off.
Okay, that sounds fine. I think, Swarna, we're looking for people who have had diverse lived experiences and who have the confidence that they can explain what those differences are. We want people who have a vision about their future, that they're hungry to learn, they're prepared to be honest with themselves about their strengths and about their gaps. They're willing to contribute to other people's learning. We talked about that earlier, that a lot of what people will learn, they get from their other students. As I said earlier, they're prepared to manage and to make and manage a plan that is really dedicated to their goals and their own values and their aspirations. I think that if students are ready to commit, we're ready to commit back. We're ready to help build that personalized learning plan. So the applicant, I think it's about a fit with the IBU approach. I do want to make one observation. Earlier, it was asked about the difference between the applicants that come in from high school and the applicants that come in as mature students. And I would encourage people on the call, regardless of whether you're a recent graduate or whether you're a mature student, I think that the approach of IBU is an incredible opportunity to be working with people that come from different backgrounds, different industries, possibly different ways of thinking, but also from different generations. And it may not be wide generational gaps, they may just be small. But I think that we in 2021 need to think very carefully about how we're working and benefiting from people that have grown up with technology in a different way, people who have different views. So I think that going back to the competitive applicant, it's someone who is understanding that our world right now, working world and otherwise, is kind of an imperfect beast, where the more prepared you are to work with people with the right knowledge, the right skill sets, the right level of curiosity, the more you can do that, the more successful you'll be over time. And so I think that's the type of applicant we're looking for. Mark, I got kind of excited, but you've probably got some ideas along this line too.
Yes, I would stay away from the word ideal, because in fact, we want a range of students. And the magic, especially in a program like this, that it's near its start, is to bring together a group of people who have a range of interests and a range of talents and strengths. Because it's through that variety and that diversity that you really create a magical experience for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Joanne. One more question is coming in there. What unique opportunities does IBU offer compared to other institutions around?
Well, first of all, I would say that our small class size is actually a unique opportunity. So the fact that we often say to each other, we know all of our students' names, that is going to continue. So we are proud of the fact that your faculty members will not just know your name, they will know a great deal about you. And that really is unique for a university in today's world here in Ontario. Maybe Dwight and Joanne want to add to that.
No, I agree with that. And even again, I keep referring back to, the current semester that we're just coming out of. The idea of us, the faculty engagement that I experienced with students were really amazing, and there was a vested interest in student success. We really want to see people do well, and oftentimes there are signals that a student might need some support before they actually needed that support. And that's conversation and engagement that happens that really mitigate a lot of students really needing the support as severely as they would in another university or in another learning environment. So I really witnessed that firsthand, the level of engagement, the level of investment that the faculty have in the students really, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference because it's like you have a vested interest in them doing well. So I think that's a unique quality.
Thank you, Dwight. Joanne, you want to add something in?
Yes, I have one more observation, Sorna, about the difference that we have. We have a really active group of people I mentioned earlier in terms of employers, industry leaders, people in community agencies and so on. We are a really active group of people that are wanting to get involved. So I think one of the IBU differences is going to be the kinds of connections that our students can make over the time period that they're in the program. We are making that a really strong part of how we're deliberately connected with our board members, with our advisory councils. We're making that a core piece on the mentorship and the access side. So that is a difference that we're building, and it'll just grow over time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And a related question has come in from an applicant or an attendee here, who says, with a degree from IBU, would I be able to work anywhere in the world?
Yes, just as you would with any other degree from an Ontario university. Definitely. So that's the wonderful thing about being in Canada. Our degrees are recognized internationally throughout the world, and IBUs, like others, will be in that class.
A wonderful question is coming in here, and I'm sure, Mark, you would love to answer that question. It says, is there any assistance available for coursework if we choose to do this program fully online?
Yes, and so we've been spending a great deal of time on shaping our online course delivery. And we've put a great deal of effort into ensuring that we have a consistent learning management system, as they're called, across all of our courses. So you only have to learn the learning management system once. Dwight is an expert in it, by the way. So when he talks about being an academic advisor, he can also help you with that. And so actually mastering the technology is a really important part of successful online learning. And so that we can definitely deal with. Also, we've chosen faculty members like Julian, who you saw earlier, who are very digitally literate individuals. They are used to teaching online and speaking online. So yes, you'll find online delivery here meets what I consider to be cutting edge standards for today.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I would just like to add that even when you're taking the program fully online, there is a synchronous delivery component in which you meet your faculty and your other classmates and batchmates once every week for an hour. So that's an added advantage wherein you can get answers to all the questions that you may have or any such thing that may come up. Just related to that question, and this is an interesting one, it says, how would you describe the academic pressure and workload at IBU? What resources are there to support a student who may miss a class?
I'll take that. That's a little bit of also an academic advising question. So the last question spoke to technology. You know, I do think that IBU have one of the most cutting edge online learning platforms. And, you know, last semester, I spent a lot of time, a lot more than I would have liked actually, learning the online system and really getting some special training around it. And part of my role was also to make sure that students are very comfortable on the system. So we provide orientation to students. And also, once you learn the system, as Mark says, it's not overly complicated. It's just really, it becomes like the way you'd use your phone. You know how to dial somebody, you know how to check Instagram, you know your way around a phone. And so you'll definitely learn your way around the technology. We're not asking you to do anything overly technical. You need to engage with the platform in terms of knowing and looking at the assignments that's posted from your instructor, reading the messages that are posted, submitting assignments, uploading your assignments, collaborating with your group. So it's not anything that's overly onerous that you won't or you can't learn. And it's very user-friendly. As it relates specifically to the question, I do think there's a lot of resources that's available to students. So say in the context of academic advising, you would connect with myself, would find out what are the issues you're having. Is it academic related? Is it work related? Is it a combination of both? What resources are here that we can dispatch? And as I said, it's very individualized. Everybody experiences a different challenge at different times. So really depends on your specific challenge, would basically dispatch resources that really best suits you. And really that is what we aim for. We are not trying to put everybody in the same type of box. Your challenge is going to be different. Your challenge is going to be unique from the next student. And we want to make sure whatever resources that we do have, we make sure that we dispatch that to you. And if it's not on campus, we make sure that we find it and then we refer you to that resources, whether it be off campus or not. But the point is to make sure that you're supported in that challenge.
Thank you. One of the attendees here has asked a question, and I would answer that right here. They say, are there any study rooms on campus so that a student can sit by themselves and do their work? Yes, we do have independent study spaces throughout our campus wherein you can sit and access resources like library books, the laptops, computers that you can sit by yourself or with your friends and do an assignment or do some kind of a work. That definitely is available. One of the very interesting questions, and I'm cognizant of the time here, but these questions have come in, so I would like us to answer these questions, is it says, will doing everything online make it harder to be verbally well prepared in terms of speaking to people and the confidence that we can show to people?
I would just go back to what Swarna had to say earlier about our online model. Our online model is not one of complete distance between the students amongst themselves and the faculty member. Those live sessions that Swarna mentioned are really a virtual classroom. So you as an online student will be getting the same ability to engage in what Julian was talking about, right? The sprints, the discussions, and everything else. that an in-class student would be receiving. So I would say no, there is no substantive difference between the two.
And there's a related question, maybe Joanne, you can talk about it, is it says, how can one overcome the problem that if we're taking the program online, are there any resources that will still help us build the public relationships and connect with the outside world?
Yes, the fact that people are taking the online program would not limit them to having access to people that, and there could be two ways of doing that. One is that people could make a choice to be going to wherever those people are, because we're now in that world. But one of the things about the digital is that we know people became very comfortable with this. People who would not have, people in senior positions who would not have been comfortable with a Zoom call or a Teams call in the past are now very comfortable with this and would be very open to taking a call, taking a video. And so we'll just, we will be building both in person and in a virtual way to make sure that we're giving people access to these types of industry connections.
And related one attendee is asking, will IBU assist us in finding job opportunities as we graduate?
I think that the assistance is going to be continuous. At the end of the day, it is always important that the person is the one to secure the role. But the assistance in creating those opportunities, in creating connections, in looking at developing people and how they are prepared for their interviews, prepared for their resumes. There are so many skills that we can be helping people develop over time, and some coaching in preparing for that. So yes, the answer is that we will be providing a lot of assistance as we go along.
Perfect. And last couple of questions that are coming in here, Mark, maybe you can answer this one. It relates to the admission acceptance rate, and a student or a prospective student is asking, what is the general acceptance rate for your program at IBU?
Well, obviously it all depends on your grades and so forth. And so for us, as long as you have the minimum grade, then the chances of you being admitted are extremely high. Okay. But we cannot obviously guarantee that for everyone without any consideration of high school marks.
Perfect. And one of the attendees here is asking, what are your office hours? We are open 8 to 6, Monday through Friday. And our phone lines are open through the day. You can reach us over the phone, the toll-free number, the regular office numbers, or our website, or the email. We are accessible throughout the week at any time that you would want us, to answer any questions that you may have. Let me go through all the chat options and see if there is anything that I have missed before we can have the closing remarks. Okay. Pretty much it. Yeah, pretty much we've tried answering all the questions that we've had this evening. I would like to thank everyone once again for joining us this evening, and we look forward to receiving any more questions that you may have that you would like to have more information on. Feel free to reach back to us through our website, through the form on the website, or give us a call or email us at admission@ibu.ca. Once again, on behalf of International Business University, I thank each one of you for considering us, and we look forward to having more conversations and you becoming a part of our journey together. Thank you. Thank you once again, and have a lovely evening and a good night.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.